going live. Putting my little sticky over the number. I can't see. Okay. I've got my coffee, but I forgot my water bottle, so it's gonna have to be fine. Damn it, I just adjusted my cushion and I put it in the wrong spot, but it's fine. It was like under my ass and then I took it out from under my ass. But anyway, hello. Welcome, friends. Oh my gosh. It feels like it's been so long since I last did a stream, but it was Christmas. Hi, welcome. Okay, I can feel my energy just going like... That's hilarious. Hi, everyone. Welcome. If you're new here, if you're just popping on for the first time out of nowhere, just like, who's this bitch? I'm Sam. I talk about phase 2. Phase 2, if you've never heard of it before from any books or anything, is a literal secret of the wealthy. It's one of the most interesting things I've ever heard about. I use it every single day and it changed my fucking life and I love it. I love it so much. Anyway, hi Raj Gate. Hey, Glamour Switch. Yes, I have like no consistent streaming schedule because I'm not the consistent type of person. But thanks. Good to see you. What's up, dog? No nonsense, maybe. I love that. That's funny. Anyway, phase 2. Yeah, I'm doing a Q&A. Pretty much every one of my live streams that I ever do is a Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Put them in the chat. As long as they're not vulgar or disrespectful, I do my best to answer as many questions as possible. And if I miss it for some reason, just send it again. Just try not to spam the chat because that's no fun. Hello, Brianna Brown. Hi. Hey, JR Horse. Anyway. Hey, Menina. I had a very low-key Christmas. Fun fact, neither myself nor Andre celebrate Christmas anymore. Just because, yeah, it's a long story. We just do whatever we want to do, honestly. 100% of the time. I hope you all had a great Christmas. Thanks, Menina. Hope you're coming closer to your brand new shiny car. My brand new shiny car already exists. I'm just not aware of it yet. Hey, Mel. Yes. Okay, so questions. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today that, we could ask questions about, or you could ask questions about and I could answer that, is quantum networking. So the funny thing about that, ironically, is we have a quantum networking event coming up this Friday. So 2 days from now, or 1 day from now. It's literally 1 day from now. It's Thursday and then Friday. It'll be Friday. My laugh is too adorable. Thanks. Hey, human error. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Love is my answer. So I don't know if any of you have been following me for a long time, but the first thing that I started talking about on TikTok was networking with millionaires, because that was what I was doing at the time. And I thought it was like the key to success, right? Because, networking with millionaires, right? You get to learn from them, learn how to make money and stuff. Yeah, it's a cool thing to do, but it actually didn't really change my life the way that I kind of expected it to. But that's a long story in itself. What I learned, though, from networking and all the networking I was doing at the time was how fucking boring networking really is. Like, oh my God, it is beyond boring. It's always just people talking about their work or their businesses or their accolades or what school they went to. And it's so hard to actually connect with people. So we're kind of flipping the whole thing around. We're doing quantum networking, which is really cool because one of the elements of phase 2 that I find so interesting is you naturally meet the people you're supposed to meet effortlessly. Like manual networking as opposed to automatic networking. Standard networking, traditional networking is like finding a needle in a haystack, or like going out and trying to find a specific person or a specific type of person, and it takes so much fucking time. So much time and so much effort. Yeah. So quantum networking is essentially, because you're working with like the quantum field, sort of, not to make it complicated, but yeah, there's a greater unfolding to things. And when you work with that, you end up meeting people who you're supposed to meet effortlessly. It's just like chance encounters at a coffee shop, or you run into someone at the grocery store. So yeah. Anyway, that's what that is. It's Friday if you're interested. The link's in my bio. Anyway, life is pretty awesome. That's great. Love is my answer. Very cool. Hey, Jewel. Issa XO. Julissa XO. Random, I just cut my hair short. I regret it, but it looks so cute on you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Why do you regret it? Because it's too short? What happened? Thanks, though. Am I rich? Funny story about that. No. Actually, yes, but no. Here's the thing. I only recently started using this phase 2 stuff. My fiance, Andre, actually, I don't even know. If you're new here, let me actually give you the whole rundown. Here's the thing. So my fiance, Andre, was mentored by this guy named Peter 13 years ago. It was a 3-year mentorship, so it ended in 2013. And Peter taught Andre about phase 2, which is what I'm talking about now. And then when I met Andre, he was trying to teach me about phase 2, but I just refused to listen. I refused to listen to him. Meanwhile, Andre himself was like making money hand over fist. He never had a money problem. It was like he just fucking shit money, and I'm struggling. I grew up like working class, always thought I had to work really hard for money. That didn't change until like 3 months ago. Well, okay, you can just leave then. I'm not going to spend any time convincing you. That didn't change until like 3 months ago, when I went from having sub $1,000 months to my first $10,000 month like this. And it was only because, or not only, but it was all because I stopped fucking around and insisting that it had to be harder than it needed to be. So yes, phase 2, crazy. I can't even, yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Elise? Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Let me catch up on some comments here. Weird. Okay. I don't meet nobody. Well, have you ever been to a networking event? I wouldn't recommend it. If you're going to go to a networking event, don't. Unless you go to ours, because it's not business related. Almendroid. What is quantum? What does it mean? So quantum essentially refers to like quantum science, or the quantum field, quantum physics. It's the science that's replacing Darwinism and Newtonian sciences. So it's not super mainstream yet, just because science as an institution is very old-fashioned. But yeah, quantum science is a really interesting topic. You could check out a book called The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot, who's the author, and it will give you a lot of information on that. Your stream is too late for me in Germany. Although that sucks. I put some of my live streams on YouTube, so if you want to watch any of my streams, you can go to the link in my bio, and there's a link to my YouTube channel where my live streams are. Okay. From server to networking with millionaires to quantum networker. Yes, that's pretty much the transition. I don't know if I should have done some like vocal exercises before I got on here, because I'm like, server to networking with millionaires to quantum networker. Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. What phase are we in right now, Fisto Perkins? You are in phase 1. So everyone starts out in phase 1. Phase 1 is the phase of limitation. It's the phase where you're focused on other people. It's the human game. It's essentially like normal human life, where everything is difficult, everything is complicated. You're a victim, you're struggling, you're suffering. Some people are lucky, some people aren't. That's all phase 1. The thing is, though, all of that is an illusion. All of the struggling, the suffering, the limitation, the complication, the challenges are all an illusion that you created for the purpose of feeling limited. Because as an unlimited being, as a fractal of consciousness, which is what you are by nature unlimited. So you came here to see what it's like to be limited. And when you realize that, and when you stop limiting yourself, or as you work on unlimiting yourself, that's when shit starts to get really fun. Yeah, that's about it. All right, the glamorous switch. Has it happened that you meet people of a higher caliber? Oh yeah. Meeting people of a higher caliber. Well, there's really no such thing as a higher caliber. That's a phase one idea, but I see what you're asking. Meeting someone who's like really well off, really successful, and then having a falling out. That definitely happened. It happened on like such a fucking crazy scale this year with this particular company that we were like working with. So it was this family that we met. They had a company. They wanted us to come in and like help them with their company, and we did. But it was a fucking shit show. And it wasn't because of us. They were just a shit show from the beginning. And eventually there was this big falling out because it's a long story. But yes, that definitely has happened. Hey, Ronald Sampaio, shout out from Brazil. Funny that you appreciate my skin glowing, because I don't use any products, and I don't have a special diet. It's just the TikTok filter. But thank you. Thanks, Menina. Hi from Sweden. Hi, Scarlett. My daughter won her first skiing competition. Oh, congratulations. Good for her. Yes. Okay. Vivid Vision Art. How to use intuition and see opportunities beside your normal daily business. It's funny. When you use your intuition to see opportunities, what's happening is you're seeing the first step, but you can't see beyond it. And this is why a lot of people fail to actually use their intuition more than they do. Most people don't use their intuition at all. So the reason for that is you have this expectation that your intuition is going to be like, look, this is a great opportunity for you. You should take it. That's not actually how it works. When you work with your intuition, it shows you the very first step, just a teeny little step right at the very beginning. And you have to trust that it's going to unfold. It doesn't make any sense. So when your intuition is showing you something to do and you're like, why would I do that? Don't ask that question. Just do it. That's when it starts to unfold. It never makes sense looking forward, but it always makes sense looking backwards. So if you have been using your intuition a little bit, you're just dabbling and you haven't really gotten any results with it, it's probably because you keep questioning the instructions that you're receiving and you're thinking that it's going to be this big revelation. It's never a big revelation. It is always just a little hint, little hints, like little breadcrumbs. So yeah, I have some really funny stories about my intuition giving me breadcrumbs. I could tell some. Where does the money come from, Neon Pringles? It comes from you. All money comes from you. It appears to come from other people because that is the way you set it up in this life. The funny thing about that is, listen to this. This is fucking crazy. So if we're operating under the premise that you are an unlimited being and you came here to have a human experience and see what it's like to be limited, you also created money to experience limitation because money is a very limiting experience. The thing is, though, you didn't just make money to limit yourself. You also decided to make it even harder by saying or creating an experience where to get money, you have to get it from other people, or it looks like it comes from other people. The fun thing about that is, though, you believe you have to have money to survive, and you also know that other people need to have money to survive. So you created this extra layer of difficulty by saying, if I'm going to get the money to survive, I have to take it from someone who also needs it. This is why everyone's fucked up by money, because they put so much power into it when it's really just an illusion. Money comes from you. People like Peter, my fiance's mentor from 10 years ago, let all of that go. And he was just like, he would just create money. Like, oh, I feel like making some money today. And he'd go to the mail and there'd be a check in the mail for 20 grand. Or someone would come to his house and be like, hey, I've been meaning to give this to you. Here's, I don't know, $10,000 for something you did for me 6 months ago or whatever. That's how your money experience can change when you stop putting so much power into the illusion of money as you can see it now. You created the whole thing. Money comes from within you. I love phase dose. Me too. Me too, queen. Hey, network is your net worth. Oh, that's ironic. Hello, welcome. That's funny. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about how I used to teach people how to network. Yeah. Ronald Sampaio, shout out from Brazil. Oh, hi. Yeah, welcome. Transcending reality. Make dictators gay again. Do I believe in quantum jumping? Sort of. Sorry, I'm like catching up on questions here. Please be patient as I get through as many questions as possible. Ren2419, do I believe in quantum jumping? Sort of. I think people have an idea of quantum jumping being this thing where you like get in the shower and then you get out and you're in a different reality. That's not how I see it. For some people, that may be what happens. I personally think quantum jumping is more about letting go of your limitations. Like, because you can let go of a lot of them like this. That's exactly how my money experience changed. It just like shifted because I made this one integral decision to stop seeing money as something that had to be complicated. That was why it took me 3 years to start accepting what my fiance was teaching me about phase 2. I needed it to be harder than it really is. I needed it to be harder. And so when I just decided to let it go and be open to a new possibility, like I was describing earlier, I quantum leaped or quantum jumped, however you want to describe it, from making almost no money to $10,000 a month. And that's been consistent. So yeah. Quantum science sounds interesting. Where can I study it? If anyone here is interested in books about quantum science, the one I would recommend is called The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. Surfing Nomad. Menina, I still find myself negative spiraling in logic, but I catch myself. Well, that's good. That's all that matters. Make sure you're not judging yourself for spiraling. It's okay. If you judge yourself, you're going to keep doing it. If you stop judging yourself, it stops. Oh, yeah, you're going to be flying when you have the networking event? That sucks. We'll do another one. It's too bad, though. Yes, we'll definitely have another one, Elise. You're welcome, Fisto Perkins. The Glamorous Witch. Okay. Okay. When that happens, is it because it's not in alignment or because... When that happens, is it because it's not in alignment or because you called in the experience? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Glamorous Witch. When what happens? I'm a motivational speaker. No, I'm not. I am not a motivational speaker. I am a content creator. I am also a writer. So if anyone's like, yeah, but what do you do? Like, what do you do? I write. We have 2 books. Well, we have 1 book that's available now and a second book that's going to be available in like a few days. Its release date is January 2nd. The book we have out now is called Quantum Networking. It's by far my most successful and most popular book. I genuinely haven't heard a negative review about it, which is fucking cool, right? I'm creating that. But yeah, I'm a writer, so I write. Obviously. The Glamorous Witch. Where I'm trying to get at is that, is rejection just redirection to a divine alignment, or is it all you? It's all you. In my opinion, rejection is your creation. The thing is, a lot of people continually get rejected because they like being rejected. I've experienced this myself. There's a certain feeling that comes along with rejection, whatever you apply to it. Let's say when you get rejected, you feel unworthy or not good enough or undeserving. People get addicted to creating that emotional experience over and over again, and that's what creates the rejection over and over again. It's a cycle. So when you stop having an emotional reaction to rejection or to literally anything else, that's when you take your power back from the experience. Like literally, you remove energy from that experience and you allow something else to happen. Now, the important thing is that you don't try to control the outcome. So you're not trying to get accepted, you are stopping creating rejection. There's a very important difference, because when you stop creating rejection and you don't try to create something else in its place, you just make space for the ideal experience to happen, whatever that is. You probably don't even know what the ideal experience is, but you know who does know it? Your intuition knows. Your intuition will always give you the exact perfect experience for you, even if you don't consciously know what it is. So, yes. Surfing Nomad, what do you do to shift into the person who receives abundance with confidence? You're already that person. There's no difference between you and that person. You just think there's a difference, which is why you think you have to shift into that kind of person. Yeah, it's... Let me put you all on. Let me give you all like a big fucking secret here, okay? I'm not sure I've shared this before on a previous live stream. Maybe I have, but I don't think so. Every single question you could ever ask me about how do I become this, or how do I get this, or how do I do this, All of those questions come from what's called the illusion of separation. The illusion of separation is the illusion that makes you believe everything is different than you. Like there's a different version of you that has this, and your friends and your partners and your family are all different than you, and the tree that's outside is different than you, and the car that you want is different than you, and all of that. The illusion of separation is where all your limitations come from in the first place. So you can let go, and this is the quantum leaping thing that I was talking about earlier. You can let go of huge amounts of limitation at once like this when you stop seeing everything as separate from you, because you created all of it. It's in your creation, and your creation is inside you. There is no outer world. It literally is all you. Your senses are the outer world. You're not perceiving the outer world. The outer world is on your eyeballs. I might fuck your brains up right now, but it's true. And you can actually read more about it in the holographic universe like I was just talking about. You're not touching the outer world. You are perceiving different experiences on the surface of your skin, which is fucking crazy. There is no separation between you or anything. You are exactly everything that you want to be right now. Nothing has to change. And as soon as you stop thinking that things have to change is the moment you become capable of creating fucking anything you want. Anything. Yeah. Can intuition have no name? Yeah. Don't worry if it has a name or not. It's just an exercise that helps you create a relationship with it. It doesn't have to have a name when you know. Hello, Manifest with Mary Sims. Okay. Johanna Ashton. How do you trust in your intuition? You just trust it. You just do what it says. If you don't trust your intuition and you're asking your intuition, why do I do this? What's the point of that? How do I do this? What's the point of that? You are choosing not to trust your intuition. It's a choice. How do you make money? To get money is different. Making money to make money is what you do. The thing is, everyone fucks up by thinking that you have to do something to make money. Let me explain alignment to you. This might blow your mind also. I'm just full of information that makes people shit bricks. You are all very fortunate to be on this live stream right now. Okay, here, let me explain alignment. So, alignment, in its most simple way, and that's all it is, it's this simple, is doing something for the sake of doing that thing. In other words, everyone fucks up by starting a business to make money, or going to work to make money, or getting in a relationship to feel better about themselves, or making art to sell it. That is all misalignment. Alignment is starting a business for the experience of starting a business, getting a job for the experience of getting a job, creating art for the experience of creating art, getting in a relationship just to get into a relationship, feeling better about yourself just to feel better about yourself. When you put your energy into one thing and you hope to get a different outcome, that's misalignment. Huh. No wonder nothing fucking works out, right? So making money to make money is literally just that simple. There is nothing you can do or you're supposed to do to make money. You've just created this illusion where making money is hard because you think you have to do something for it. If you created the entire world and you created money too, there is literally no reason why you can't create money just flowing in your experience. Like the same way your blood is flowing throughout your body. The same way your blood is flowing in your body. Money is like the blood of the outer world. It's always flowing. And if you have a money problem or if you're broke, that's because you're cutting off the blood flow. You are believing things and telling yourself stories that are preventing the money from flowing to you. It is that simple. There's nothing you could possibly do to make more money. It's all an illusion. You make money to make money. And that happens when you stop telling yourself all the bullshit limiting stories about how money is hard. You gotta do something to make money. You gotta manifest money. Yeah. You manifest to manifest. You don't manifest anything specific. You just do it to do it. This is why when you're working with your intuition, you let it unfold. You don't try to control the outcome. If you try to control the outcome when working with your intuition, you are not in alignment. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. Whew. All right, there's a lot of questions. I'm going to catch up. Gray Jonas, today's been a panic attack day from hell. Found this live. It's keeping my mind occupied. Word, I love that. Good for you. Hopefully it doesn't cause you to spiral because my information is a little crazy. Where do you meet people like Peter? If you want to meet someone like Peter, you create that kind of person. You don't go anywhere to meet them. They will come into your life effortlessly. That's quantum networking. I was here when you used to teach people how to network. Well, thanks. Thanks for being here the whole time. It's been a really crazy journey since then. Yeah. Hey, Caitlin, I want to create a business to create wealth for my son. Okay, that's already misalignment. You want to create a business to create a business. You create wealth for your son to create wealth for your son. So you don't start a business to create wealth. You start a business for the sake of the business, and through the business you will expand, and it is your expansion that allows you to receive, or I guess receive is a fine word to use, more money. My expansion in the beginning of October this year was what allowed me to finally receive more money than I've been receiving before. I had never expanded before. That was the first time I actually experienced expansion, and immediately my money experience changed because I was no longer so small. But I didn't expand to make more money. I expanded to expand. So, yes. Okay. I used to watch your old content even though I had no interest in networking. I just loved your vibe. Thank you. That's so sweet. Okay. Period. Yes. Okay, thanks. So I just redirect my intention. Redirect my intention. Yeah, I guess essentially yes. I wanted to like make sure I wasn't overcomplicating that. If you're starting a business, you just create the business to create the business. That means if you're trying to sell something that you're not actually interested in, that's not going to work. If you're going to start a business, it has to be something you are actually interested in. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it for the experience because you're not interested in the experience. When you work in alignment, when you create a business for the sake of the business and you just do everything for the sake of doing it, that's when you're in alignment and money comes in to support you. Money will always support you. You can create money supporting you in any capacity. I can't even overstate it. It's like crazy because, yeah, anyway. Money is meant to support you. You don't do anything to make money. It just comes in as a result of your aligned action. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Hello. Hi. Okay. Hey, Manifest with Mary. I recommend her book. Thank you. Aw, that's so sweet. Jack Richards. Is your link in bio limited time or will it stay there? It will be there. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Don't worry. You're welcome, Glamorous Witch. Hit me like a brick. Yeah, I know. Imagine how it's felt for me being in a relationship with someone who just talks about this shit all day, every day for 3 years. It was the most frustrating experience I've ever had, but I'm so glad that I stuck through it and we never broke up because I wouldn't have finally learned all the shit that I'm talking about right now. Okay. No. Nonsense maybe. No nonsense maybe. I sell books to sell books, and I create money as a result of my alignment. I don't sell books to create money. This is very important that you understand this. I can see you, like, the gears are turning in your head. Like, no, she sells books to make money. No. I wrote the book to write the book. I sell the book to sell the book. I create content to create content. And as a result of doing all those things for the sake of the experience, I just lay on the couch or go get a cup of coffee or go shopping and I look at my account and there's money in it. Does the money appear to come from the books? Yes, but that's just an illusion. It's the same for everyone. It's the same for everyone. It appears that money comes to you through clients, work, paychecks, business, whatever. It's just an illusion. You wouldn't get the clients if you weren't in alignment with the clients. This is why businesses struggle. This is why people write books and don't sell a single fucking copy because they wrote the book to sell it. Or they started the business to make the money. When you do something for the sake of the experience, it works out. You are supported effortlessly by your intuition, by your consciousness, by your experience that you are creating. Nothing is outside of you. Okay, what are the limitations we set to get money? What are the limitations we set to get money? Are you asking what limitations you have around money, Xindel7? Because I'm not sure I understand your question. Let's see. Okay. The Holographic Universe is the name of the book. The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. Yeah. Are we really creating it, or are we just coming into alignment? You're creating it, in my opinion. That's how I see it. If you want to see it as coming into alignment, that's how you can see it. I just find that the concept of alignment is very simple. And it can stay that way if you're just in alignment. You create your experience by way of, I don't know, processes in your brain. Is it alignment? I don't know. But you are creating your experience based on your feelings and your stories that you're telling yourself. Yeah. So I do what I love. Money literally goes into my bank account. Fuck yeah, Manifest with Mary Sims. This is exactly what I've been telling myself. Yeah, well, now you have validation. Good for you. I love that. I love validation. The many named, but my internal traumas popped up left and right to block it. Okay, no. Nothing is blocking you. You can't blame anything besides yourself. What you're doing is creating issues because you like having issues. You like being blocked, right? So a major element of working with phase 2 and just creating effortlessly is taking full responsibility for your experience. You can't create your entire reality and be a powerful, limitless creator and also be a victim at the same time. Because that's like, I create everything, but I'm also fucked. Like, oh, the government, but I create everything, but the government. Yeah. So any problems that you're having, any blocks or whatever you're experiencing, you are creating for the sake of the experience. So what you can do is say, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of blocking myself from whatever it is. I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of blocking myself from creating money. I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of getting angry all the time for no reason. Yeah. Okay. Should I ask my intuition how to make money? No, what you should say is, I feel like making money today. Oh, I guess you could ask how, but remember, alignment is making money to make money. So you don't do anything to make money. It's not what can I do to make money? It's how can I make money to make money? What can I, yeah. Yes, there's no action in the outer world that you're supposed to take to make money. Your intuition will tell you something to do for the sake of doing it. If you do something with an expectation in mind, that's not alignment, and you're not going to create money out of that misalignment. Okay, are you in the same time zone as Phoenix? Yes, I am actually in Phoenix at Neon Bristol. All right. Okay. Hello. All right, let me romance. Manifest everything accurately. Okay. All right, I'm going to catch up on some more questions here. Let's see. Expand. What did I expand? I expanded myself. My sense of self-appreciation. A lot of people with successful businesses never expected success. Yeah, they were just in it to be in it. The thing about being in business is it's so interesting because you can sense where you're limiting yourself. So I feel like, in my opinion, the way I perceive things, when people start businesses that ended up being really successful, those people wanted to have a barometer for their own expansion. So when you have your own business and you're in that business just for the sake of being in the business, just to see what it's like, you can very clearly see how much you're willing to expand and where you're like limiting yourself. It is crazy. And I say this as someone who is like who works for myself. I can see very clearly where I'm like scared and where I'm willing to expand. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. People who have these really massive successful businesses were in it because they just wanted to do it and see their own expansion, experience their own expansion. So yes, I totally agree. Catherine Inspires. If anyone's interested in mentoring, what we have is our community. It's a place for people to kind of experience phase 2. The thing about the community is, though, my fiance offers mentorship. Currently, all his spots are taken, but if you're in the community, you will get notifications about new spots that open up. So, yeah. That's available via the link in my bio. Okay, Lady MacGyver. I lived and breathed this lifestyle all my life, and then I became disabled, and I'm in a fear scarcity mindset. So it kind of sounds like you created limitations for yourself to have limitations. Yeah. Disabled. My fiance, Andre, created disability for himself also. The thing about him is, if you were to he's legally blind, he can't see. If you were to ask him if he would choose to get his vision back if he could, he would say, no, I don't want my vision back, because in losing my vision, I gained the ability to see the world more clearly. Because it's crazy. If you talk to him, it's like he just reads you like a fucking book. It's very unsettling. But I don't know what kind of disability you have. The thing is, the stories you tell yourself about it are what's causing the limitations that you're experiencing. Keep that in mind. Whatever you're saying, whatever you're telling yourself about your limitations and your disabilities is what's perpetuating those limitations, because you've also put a lot of emotional energy into it. And the emotional energy plus the stories are what create your experiences. What is the book called again? The book about quantum mechanics is called The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. My book is called Quantum Networking. Now that I exercise for the experience of exercise, I love it. That's great. Hey, Caitlin, what determines the amount of money flowing to you? Your expansion, your sense of self-appreciation. If you're broke, point blank, if you are broke right now, it's because you don't appreciate yourself at all. That's it. There is no other reason why you're broke. That's it. That's why I was broke. And that's also why I'm not broke now. I started appreciating myself. If you don't appreciate yourself, you are essentially like choosing to maximize your limitation as much as possible. Self-appreciation is the act of accepting more and more and more every single day, every single time you practice it, accepting that you create your entire experience, and giving yourself happiness. Those are the two elements of self-appreciation. You allow yourself to feel fucking good, probably for the first time ever, the first time you do it. And the second part is taking responsibility for the experience you're creating. So if you're broke, it's because you don't appreciate yourself. The more you appreciate yourself, the more money flows to you. Peter, who was a multi-millionaire by the time he died, and he was actually a multi-millionaire in his early 20s, growing up in a working class family, so he didn't grow up like that, created that for himself. Peter appreciated himself so fucking much. Like, yeah. It's not the same as being stuck up. I don't know if you can sense the difference between self-appreciation and like arrogance. Not that it matters, but when you appreciate yourself like to the maximum extent, you essentially can do no wrong. There's nothing wrong with you at all. And because you know that there's nothing wrong with you, you'll say yes to fucking any experience you want. You'll get any experience you want because you're not telling yourself, oh, I can't have that. It's not for me. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not the right person for that. Someone else is better for that. Yeah. Okay. Monroe Queens. Hi. Hey, Sam, quick question. What do we do in the quantum networking event that's going to be held? It's actually on Friday. So I don't know what your time zone is, but it's on Friday, the 30th. So at the quantum networking event, what's going to happen is we are essentially going to do, I don't want to give it away, some really fun exercises. You're going to be in breakout rooms with a smaller number of people. You're going to get to know those people. We're going to give you exercises to do to help connect with those people. And it's going to be super duper fun. It's 1 hour, just an hour. Do I believe in God? No, I am God. Do you have to align with your higher self? You are your higher self. There's no difference between you and your higher self. Okay. Yes. You create your own chains to experience such things. Hi, JC Escobar. That is exactly right. You create your own limitations. Has our higher self always existed and is it eternal? Yes. Even more than that. some people believe, myself included, that when you die, you can come back into the game immediately if you want to. And you don't even have to come back as a baby. You can come back as a different person who's like in the middle of their life or whatever. Yeah, there is no real end to the game. The other interesting thing about this, this is going to blow your mind, okay? Death comes from inside you. You create your own death. Like, there are people who die in like things like natural disasters or whatever, and it's like, oh, those something outside of that person caused them to die. No, that came from inside you. So you essentially took yourself out of the game. It just was time to go. Maybe there was like nothing else you really wanted to experience, but maybe at the same time you wanted to come back as a rescuer who saves people in that natural disaster. Isn't that crazy to think about? So you might be someone who dies in an emergency. This just got like crazy. You might be someone who dies in a natural disaster. You created that for yourself. Your life ends right then and there. Death comes from inside you. But then you decide to come back and you're one of the people who's saving lives from the same disaster. That's possible. So if anyone has like an existential crisis or existential anxiety, hopefully that helps. What is up with you, no nonsense maybe? You sound so fucking whiny and desperate. That's exactly why you don't have any money. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Question. Oh wait, I already answered that one. This is mind-blowing. What's the most important thing you can tell us about phase 2, Johanna Ashton? The most important thing I can tell you about phase 2 is that, I'd have to choose something. It all comes down to your decisions, really. I realized this today, and I was kind of unhappy to accept this, but I didn't have to take 3 years to accept that it's this simple. I used to believe, and I desperately wanted to believe, that, you know, there's like a timeline and things happen at the right time. That's bullshit. If you want to enter phase 2 right now, you can, but you have to decide to do it. If you're struggling with that and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's just not the right time, that's not true. You're just struggling because you want to struggle. So, yeah, you don't have to struggle any longer than you want to. And trust me when I say you're choosing to struggle. As tough as that may be to hear and to accept, it's the source of all your power. If you're struggling against your will, you're powerless. If you're struggling because you're a victim, you're powerless. You can't create when you're a victim. But when you decide, you know what? I am creating my own struggling. I am choosing to make things harder than they need to be. I would like to let that go. Show me the way. Your life could fucking change tomorrow. It probably would change tomorrow. It might even change within the next 10 minutes. Like, who fucking knows? Maybe you get a phone call. It's like, hey, we want you to come live in Bora Bora for the next 6 months because we picked you, or whatever it is. The only reason these things aren't happening for you is because you don't want them to happen yet. Yeah. That's the thing about phase 2. Thank you, Joblon Matify. Is it possible to teeter from phase 1 and phase 2 some days? Yes, official indica. It happens all the time. It's totally normal. There are days where you kind of just like forget and it's like, oh, everything is real. These people are different than me. I really am limited. You just forget. It's kind of like an exercise. It's just practice. Exindel 7. Why the universe has its way to keep us humble? I don't think the universe has any way to keep us humble. If you are humble, it's because you want to be humble. But being humble isn't as helpful as you might think. Okay. What about people born with disabilities? Well, they wanted to experience the limitation, clearly. That's the thing about phase 1. Everyone starts out in phase 1. Whether or not they can, like... This might be a controversial opinion. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to say it. I have this controversial opinion that is essentially, you're so powerful there is nothing you cannot create or change. So if you're, like, for example, born with a disability, and it's the kind of disability that, like, is permanent, quote unquote permanent, I actually don't think anything is permanent. I think, if anything, what would eventually happen is you die and then you come back without the disability and you continue where you left off, just as a different person living the exact same life, or maybe somebody you knew. I don't know. That's my opinion. Might be really controversial, but what I do firmly believe is everyone comes here to have the human experience and see what it's like to be limited. Disability is nothing more than a type of limitation. It is a limitation. So you're essentially fulfilling what you came here to do in creating your own disability. Andre's disability was accidental. So he didn't even see it coming. He wasn't born with it. Did he create that? Yes, he did. Did he accept that he created it when it first happened? No, he thought he was a victim. But because he thought he was a victim, that was what made him feel so powerless, and that was why he struggled with it so much. So, yeah. Her book is the truth. Thank you, Michelle Hollis. Hey, 25AC. How do you appreciate yourself? Okay, self-appreciation. This is by far the most common question I get. Self-appreciation is a lot simpler than you might think. Resist the urge to complicate it. Please resist the urge to overcomplicate self-appreciation. To appreciate yourself, there are two elements and you do them both at the same time. The first element is doing something that makes you happy, whether that's going for a walk, getting Starbucks, taking a bath, just sitting on your couch and doing nothing for 10 minutes, whatever it is, whatever makes you happy. And simultaneously taking responsibility for your entire experience. So if you go to Starbucks, for example, let's say Starbucks just makes you happy, you're going to get your coffee and you're going to intentionally take 60 seconds or as long as possible to just sit there and be like, this is so good. I created this coffee. I created the Starbucks. I created the money that I used to buy it. I created the coffee beans. I created the car that I used to drive here. I created my body. I created my taste buds. I created everything that I'm enjoying right now. I created my feelings. I created the weather. And you just sit there and you become aware that everything you're experiencing is your creation while being happy, right? You don't have to be happy. Like, you can self-appreciate with anger, but that's no fun. So I wouldn't recommend it. Choose happiness. That's self-appreciation. And you don't even have to spend money on it. It could be totally free. You could do it when you're laying in bed. Makes no difference. The point is you're taking the time to do it. Okay. Do you believe we came from a divine space, or did our consciousness just emerge randomly through evolution? Oh man, these questions are crazy today. My personal opinion is we came from space. I don't know if it's divine. I wouldn't judge it as divine. It probably seems divine, like the amount of energy and just like craziness that we came from probably would be classified as divine. But because judgment is a limitation, I kind of try to avoid it. I just think we came from space. We are space. We are energy that's experiencing itself. So, yeah. Evolution is a story. You don't think anyone else is less valuable either, just not for you. Yeah, exactly. Michelle, I'm Tree Hollis. Oh, hey, Michelle. Oh, what's up? Good to see you. How did Peter start his parties? Very small. Peter started out his parties in his one-bedroom apartment. He had he had roughly 5 people coming at the beginning. It wasn't always like these big 100, 200 person parties. At the very beginning, he just had little get-togethers. But that didn't mean people didn't give him money to say thank you for the invitation or thank you for the experience. Yeah. He started them by meeting people who understood appreciation. You know what's funny? Let me tell you this. It's very easy to identify people who understand appreciation. Have you ever watched someone pay with their card? Like maybe you've gone out for dinner with someone and they offer to pay for it and they get the bill. Notice how they behave when they're paying. This is such a crazy thing to do. People who don't understand appreciation will be like, well, this is more than I thought. Or, God, it's so expensive to eat out now. Or, you know, whatever. They're going to be weird about the number, weird about the total, weird about the tip. They're going to be weird about the service. They're going to be weird about literally anything, right? They don't understand appreciation. People who do understand appreciation would be like, they don't even give a fuck about the money. It's like, yeah, here, take my card. Here, 50% tip, whatever. Fuck it. It's all going to come back to me anyway, because that's understanding appreciation. This is why self-appreciation expands. It causes your own expansion, which causes you to experience more money because it's expansion and you get back what you spend multiplied in phase 2. It just happens. The only reason it doesn't happen for you now is because you don't fucking believe it will. There's a story about this. I just forgot what it was. Oh shit. It just escaped my mind. Damn, whatever. When it comes back, I'll tell the story. The official Cisco, I missed the conversation about the community mentorship. Yeah, so if anyone wants to practice phase 2 and also have support from other people who are in phase 2, because sometimes it's difficult, like if you're with your family or friends and they don't understand what you're going through, you can't really talk to them about it. So the community that we have available is essentially a place where you can not only learn more about phase 2 and do exercises and stuff, but get the support and the community you want. Also with the community, you'll get updates about mentorship spots when they open up. Currently, there's only 3 available because that's however many people my fiance, Andre, will take at a time. There are no available spots, but if you join the community, you'll get updates about that. Somebody just asked me about New Year's Eve plans earlier. I went out for lunch today at a bar, and I actually asked the bartender, who's this girl I've seen a couple times before, if she wanted to go dancing with me, and she said yes. So I'm going dancing with the bartender from the restaurant on New Year's Eve. Yeah. What is enlightenment? I don't know. I don't think I've ever done it. 25 AC. Do you align with the simulation theory, or do you believe we live in one of the real realities? I think we live in a hologram. Well, I think you live in your own hologram. Essentially, it's a simulation. Okay. Another Johan here. Yes! We create our own reality. Yes! You're welcome, Johan. Hey, Muhadi! What did you do today that made you feel the best? I took a bath. Oh, I realized today, while taking my bath, that that's where I feel the most relaxed. Yeah. I didn't start taking baths until my intuition told me to a couple months ago. And it's so interesting because I find that that is where I'm most relaxed. It's like a new level. And I never would have realized that if my intuition hadn't told me to do it, because I would never have otherwise been inspired to do it. Azaria and the Moon. Can you talk about how to practically decide to stop struggling? I'm having trouble paying bills. Yeah, I guess. You just decide. Here's the thing. Let me explain. You keep struggling, not just because you tell the story. It's a combination of these two things. You perpetuate your own struggling because you're telling the struggle stories and you get emotional about it. Doesn't matter what emotions you feel, that's irrelevant. The point is you're putting emotional energy into the experience of, or the illusion of struggling. So when you're having trouble paying your bills, I can only imagine what happens for you. You open the bill or you open the email and you're like, fuck, that's a lot of money, or I don't really have it. And then you get nervous, you get anxious, you get stressed out, you get tense. That's all energy. And that energy is literally creating that experience over and over and over and over again. So it's the stories and the emotions. What you have to do is decide that you can pay a bill and not get upset about it. You can pay a bill and feel nothing towards it. That's a decision. That's a decision. That's also feeling through the energy, which is a very simple exercise. You just say out loud to yourself, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of struggling. and you repeat that statement until the energy that you're feeling doesn't come up anymore. Yeah. I quit my job because I was miserable. Go you. That's good. Hopefully you're following your intuition. No idea who created Phase 2. Phase 2 has been around. Phase 2 has been around for a very long time. 25 AC. Why does imperialism and patriarchy exist? Explained from a quantum perspective, because those are elements of limitation. So think of it this way. If you are an unlimited being, you are literally infinite consciousness. You can create entire worlds. You can create entire experiences. You are fully and completely unlimited. You want to see what it's like to be limited. That's not as easy as just being like, oh no, I'm small. I'm small in this big world. I'm so limited. In order to convince yourself you're limited from a quantum consciousness perspective, you have to create something so massive and so complicated that you just cannot possibly see a way that it's not limiting you. Imperialism and patriarchy are just two examples of the institutions that you've created to convince you that you're fucked up and you're limited and you're broken and the world's broken and there's nothing you can do about it because you're so limited and small. Yeah. But not only that, you also created people to agree with you on it. You created people to agree with you. You created people to be unfairly and unequally affected by these institutions to convince you even further that they're real. You created corruption. You created everything. You created all of it just to see what it would be like to experience the limitation. Limitation has to be complicated. That's why the solution to it, that's why being unlimited is simple. It's the foil. Whew. Yes, Elise. Yeah, I literally had that happen when I was asked to live in Texas with everything paid for. I just let it go. Amen. Because humanity wanted to experience it. Not necessarily, well, humanity, I don't know, maybe. I definitely know on like an individual perspective, because you are everyone and everyone is you, that you wanted to experience it. So you are humanity. You created humanity and humanity created you. Yeah. The doorway into, hey, what's up? What if you keep believing I have to be a different race to be loved? I've seen and experienced evidence of it. Yes, because you wanted to see and experience the evidence. Like I was just talking about with limitation, it's not enough to tell yourself you're limited. You're also going to create people who reflect it back to you. So if you keep believing that you have to be a different race to be loved, and you're seeing that in the outer world, that's just the own validation. That is your own validation for your belief. What I will tell you to do to help that, please stop asking me if I believe in God. Why do people keep asking me that? Anyway, whatever. I'm creating it, obviously. What I want you to do, the doorway into, is take a couple deep breaths and then say out loud to yourself, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy feeling like I have to be a different race to be loved, or whatever race it is. Maybe you feel like you have to be white to be loved. I'm just guessing here. You would say, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy feeling like I can't be loved unless I'm white, or whatever statement works for you, whatever is the most accurate for you. When you say that out loud, you're probably going to get this rush of energy in your body. It could be chills. You could laugh. It sometimes feels like sexual arousal. It could be tingles. Could be anything. The point is, when you feel that energy, that is evidence that you have energy invested into that experience. You're physically feeling that you've been creating that experience. So all you have to do from that point is allow that energy to move, focus on it, just let it move, whatever it wants to do, and then say the statement again. And just keep feeling that. And eventually, after you say the statement, maybe between 5 and 10 times, you're not going to feel anything anymore. You'll say the statement and it's just nothing. You won't feel anything. And when you don't feel anything is when you've broken your energetic attachment to that experience, to that story. The craziest thing about this exercise is once you do it, you stop seeing the evidence of what you previously believed. It's like everything changes immediately. You can break habits this way. You don't have to do any physical effort or work. to change habits. This exercise will break them alone. It's pretty cool. Oh shit, there's a lot of questions. Okay. Hey, Patricia Black. What if you say the statement but you don't feel anything? Troubleshooting, either you're not relaxed enough or you're distracted and you're not focusing on your body. You really have to be aware of your body. That's why I tell you to take deep breaths and just relax a little bit. The other thing is it's maybe just not true for you. Maybe you're saying a statement, but it's not the right statement. Not right, but it's not the most accurate one. Two possibilities. Okay. Whew. Okay. Okay. Wait, sorry. I just got so like distracted. That's hilarious. I'm 20. I've been watching my 96-year-old Nana with dementia since I was 17. I feel so lost now. Wow, that sounds really hard. I'm 20 since I was 17. Are you still watching her? Steckers. Sorry, usernames. Relax first. Yes, you have to relax. If you're not relaxed and you're just like thinking and doing a bunch of shit, you're not going to feel anything. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Sorry, I missed a bunch of questions. I'm going to go back. I'm just kind of like taking a minute here. I've been talking like nonstop. I'm going to take a few more questions after I answer some of the ones that were left previously, and then I'm going to go make dinner. Okay. You feel lost. The first thing I would tell you, Steckhers, sorry, if I'm saying your username wrong, I apologize. I don't know. Yeah. If you feel lost, that's your own creation. It's nobody else's fault that you feel lost, which can be hard to hear, but keep in mind that you're an unlimited being. You have no limitations. You wanted to experience limitation, and so you created this experience to make you feel lost, like you have no idea what you're doing. Accept it. Admit it. You know what? I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of being lost. I enjoy feeling like I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now. The thing is, you do know what to do. Your intuition can always guide you. You are never, ever truly lost. If you never worked with your intuition, allow me to introduce you. Like, it's amazing how it works out. But there's nothing you can physically do to not be lost, except that you've created the experience of being lost for the purpose of it, just to be lost. Ooh, Deluxe Witch. I was doing my skincare and saying I'm willing to admit statements in the mirror. It's crazy, right? It's crazy when it's like, oh, wait, that's true? Wait, that's true? It's so fun. It's honestly so fun. Yeah. Okay, William, should I take a way more stressful job? You know the answer. Everyone who's asking me questions about what should I do, you know the answer. You just want me to validate your answer. Trust your answer. Your intuition can help you. What are your thoughts on doing tennis? You know the answer. Okay. Thank you, The Doorway Into. I'm happy to help. Honestly, yeah. Unlimited in relation to world systems, it would help so many people. I appreciate that. To be totally honest with you, I'm kind of scared to do that. I'm a little bit scared to openly talk about the things relating to like systems and racism and institutional limitations, all that stuff, because I haven't yet accepted that I create all the people who don't like to hear it, right? Because there's a lot of people out there who just want to be victimized, but I created them. So I'm really kind of struggling. I'm creating my own struggle with people on my social media who will not hear what I have to say. Yeah, so I'm glad you find it helpful, but I talk about it here because it's like these people who are here are choosing to be here. Maybe I'll work on that. I probably should like do some feeling around in that area. Yeah. See you on the 30th, Rebecca. Yay! Yeah, for real. When does Quantum Cash come out? Quantum Cash comes out on the 2nd of January. Only a few more days. Yeah. Yes, yes. Buying the book was a phase 2 guide thing. That's fucking awesome. Cool. Thank you, Oxtillionaire. Oxtillionaire. Ooh, what is an oxtillion? How many zeros is that? That's fucking cool. Yes, could I go up to your questions? Okay. You were asking about... I think I saw your question. I thought it was funny. If we, you, consciousness, God was limitless and could create anything, why did it create this in the first place? Okay, here's the thing. You're adding meaning, 25 AC. Consciousness, you as an unlimited being, created this for the same reason someone builds a theme park. For the same reason someone would build an amusement park. In my opinion, again, everything I'm saying is what I personally believe, but this is what I believe. This world, this experience is like Six Flags to consciousness. It sounds crazy, but really, like, if you look around, there's just a bunch of things you can do. It's a bunch of experiences you can have. You can go on the big slide, or you can do the roller coaster, or you can go to the arcade. Like, you can play the money game, you can play the business game, you can play the, I don't know, climbing Mount Everest game, you can play the marine biologist game. It's a bunch of different games. And you can come back and do something else next time, or you can leave early and then come back and try something else as a different person. Like, it's just for the sake of the experience. Does consciousness know the outcome of different things that are happening? I think so, yeah. That's why things work out like this. That's why you can meet the exact right person in passing at a coffee shop. It's not a coincidence. There are no coincidences, because consciousness is orchestrating all of it. But it's just like a theme park. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get some other... I'm just going to start choosing random questions here. Okay. Thank you, Jupiter's Blood. Whoop. Do I believe in low vibrational versus high vibrational people? No, because that's separation. The illusion of separation is the basis of all limitations. There are no low vibe people. There are no high vibe people. If you find yourself coming across low vibe people, you created them because you wanted to experience talking to them. Or if you come across high vibe people, you created them because you wanted to experience talking to them. But really, there's no difference. It's just different experiences. It's all the same thing, just perceived differently. Okay. How do you hang out with friends and other people without limitation? It's hard. That's why we created the phase 2 community, because spending time around people who are deep in the limitations can be a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, that's, interestingly enough though, having a hard time around your family and friends is your own creation. So essentially you created your family and friends to not understand you because you wanted to not be understood. As soon as you let go of that, as soon as you stop putting emotional energy into like, oh, how do I get these people to understand me, is when they're going to be a lot more open to whatever you want to talk about. It's like effortless. It's crazy. Okay. Why have I been having this strange twisting kundalini energy feeling in my head, mouth, teeth, like during my live stream? Probably because it's true. So everyone can always feel the truth. Let me give you a golden nugget to walk away from this with. You have a compass inside you, and this compass is super fun because it will always tell you what's true and what's not true. Meaning you always know exactly what you want to experience and not want to experience because it'll tell you, right? So if you're feeling something as I'm talking, like you just get this energy going on, it's because it's resonating with you and it's true. If I were saying a bunch of shit that wasn't true, you'd just be like, I'm not feeling anything. You'd probably be bored. You probably would have already scrolled past this because it's boring, right? Yeah, so if anyone's feeling anything, it's because you're resonating with what I'm saying and you're supposed to be hearing it. Hello. Okay. Thank you. Spending money is fun as fuck. Amen to that, sis. About money when paying, appreciate. Yes. Yeah. When you spend money and you're not weird about it, you get appreciation because it's going to come back. It always comes back. The money you spend is multiplied. This is why If you save money and you're like hoarding it, this is why emergencies come up. Andre, oh, crazy. Andre, when he was younger, when he was going through his mentorship with Peter, he had a lot of money in the bank, a few $100,000, and he wanted to take a break from working. And he doesn't like to spend money. So when he took his break from working, it only took 5 months before all the money was gone. Because emergency after emergency after emergency kept coming up because he wasn't spending any money. Money flows. You know how uncomfortable it gets when your arm, like when you fall asleep on your arm and there's pins and needles? It's so uncomfortable. It's the same thing with money in your experience. If you're not spending it, things are going to happen that force you to let go of it. Because money is circulating. That's why I call it the bloodstream or the blood flow of the outer world. It doesn't just sit there. Yeah. But that's also why money can flow to you effortlessly, because it's always flowing. You just have to spend it. Yeah. Morgan Tanner art. That's how my husband is. I have to actively ask him not to talk about how everything is expensive. You're creating that, Morgan Tanner art. If your husband is always talking about how things are expensive, you're having an emotional reaction to it. That's why you keep creating him doing it. As soon as you stop getting upset about him doing that, he's going to stop doing it. I'd put money on it. I've experienced this myself. It's kind of hard to accept because it's like, no, he needs to change. He's the one doing the wrong thing. You're perpetuating it. You're creating it. It's interesting though, because it implies that we have control over other people's behavior. That's not exactly the case. What we do have control over is how we perceive other people. And other people will always act according to our expectations. They don't have to know it, but we're creating them, and that's how it happens. Consciousness is it's the same consciousness with everyone. You have the same consciousness as your husband. So essentially, your shared consciousness is fucking with you and triggering you into getting upset about him talking about how expensive things are, because that's what you're reacting to. Yeah. Whew. What is my anecdotal evidence of the hologram take? What evidence or what experiences have I had relating to the hologram? Oh, I have one. Really simple one. Not too long ago, maybe like a couple weeks ago, my car was on empty. Like I needed to get gas. And I went to the car wash, and then I was going to go to the mechanic. And I knew my car was on empty. I was like, I gotta get gas. The car wash I went to is the kind where they wash your car for you and you wait for them to do it. And as I was sitting in there, I'm just chilling. This part of the story is irrelevant. Anyway, I get back into my car after the car wash happens, and there was more gas in my tank. There was more gas in my tank than before, which was fucking weird. But it just goes to show that nothing is as it seems. Anything can change. It's crazy. So yeah, that was weird. Cool though. I can't complain. Yeah. I love baths. That's funny. I'm sitting in a bath right now. That's hilarious. Poppy the Peanut. What about accepting or being self-compassionate to yourself for hard? Yes, you have to. You can't beat yourself up. Yeah. That's why, for me, instead of beating myself up about hard feelings, I find them funny. I don't go necessarily the really compassionate route, like, oh, it's okay, sweetie, like the inner child work type thing. I find it funny. And finding it funny is just as helpful, just as therapeutic for me. But yes, you're totally right. Totally right. Jupiter's blood. I've been struggling to hear my intuition. Because you want to struggle to hear your intuition. Sorry about that, but it's true. Maybe do the statement, I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of struggling to hear my intuition. Or I'm willing to admit that I enjoy the feeling of rejecting my intuition. Do you have your intuition's name? Thank you. I know, we get closer every day, Bonnie. I'm so excited. Oh my God. We were just working on it today, and I'm like, this is such a good book. This is such a good book. Oh my God, I'm so excited for people to read it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, oh wait, you don't know? Oh wait, okay. Jupiter's blood. Your intuition has a name. Everyone's intuition has a name. Well, I don't know about everyone, but yeah. communicating with your intuition becomes a lot easier and, I don't know, more fun, essentially, when you ask your intuition what its name is, and then you speak to it with its name. So you essentially, Jesus Christ, you essentially create a personal relationship with your intuition. Jess Long, can I spread your word of appreciating yourself to others? Sorry, I was reading the other. Yes, by all means. Yeah, no. Tag me, don't tag me. I don't fucking care. Talk about it as much as you want. Take any of this, for sure. Letitia, how do you hear your intuition? You go to a calm place and you take a couple breaths and then you say, intuition, are you there? And then it will send you a tingle or something. Your intuition is you, by the way. Big mistake is thinking that your intuition is like separate than you. It's not separate. It's the same. You are your intuition. So if you're not hearing your intuition, you're not hearing yourself, essentially. To hear your intuition, it's just like having a conversation with yourself. However, there are a couple like important rules. You never ask your intuition why questions. Never ask your intuition why questions. And never ask your intuition questions about the future or the past. Only the present moment. So essentially that boils down to a couple questions that you ask. And that's all you need to ask. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than this. You ask, how can I appreciate myself right now? What do I feel like doing right now? That's pretty much it. How can I allow other people to appreciate me right now? How can I appreciate other people right now? Those are like the 4 questions that you can ask your intuition that cover all your bases. Yeah, it's that simple. So it's going to tell you what to do and you just do it. You don't question, why do I do this? Because there's no why. Yeah, my pleasure. Do you also create your intuition, or is it the place the creation power is actually coming from? I think your intuition is consciousness, and consciousness is where your creation power is coming from. Yeah. Yes. Ooh, interesting, Dylan. That's cool. Yeah, this information, it's not just us. Yeah, no, we didn't come up with phase 2. Phase 2 has been in use for a long time by a lot of different people. Yeah. So I'm not surprised other people have similar information, if not the same. Yeah, no problem, Letitia. Okay. Okie dokie. Bloop. Can language ever not be limiting? That's an interesting, you are just full of interesting questions today, 25AC. Can language ever not be limiting or be not limiting? My answer is no. And here's why. It's not because everything you say is limiting to you. It's because language in itself is inherently limiting in that sometimes you just don't have the right word for what you want to say. Anytime you speak, you are kind of like approximating what you want the other person to know. Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of funny because there are words in certain languages that other languages just don't have a translation for. So, yes, that's why I think language is always limiting. Yeah. But I don't know. It's a really interesting thing to think about. Okay. So our beliefs create everything. Your beliefs and your emotions. Your stories. Your stories and the feelings you put into those stories create everything. Yes, Menina. I have a good hologram example. Cool. I'd love to hear it. Changing the mood. What triggers you is what you need to change within yourself. Not change. You don't have to change anything. You're perfectly fine the way you are right now. In fact, the way you are right now can experience anything you feel like experiencing. There is no like higher level. There's no better you. What triggers you is what you're creating. So if someone says something to you that upsets you, you created that person to say it for the experience. Let me give you a secret. Oh God. When I realized this, my life got so much easier. So much easier. Hopefully you understand what I'm about to explain. I'm going to try my best to make it very clear. But it's relevant to your question, changing the mood. Here's the thing. Most people avoid their feelings because feelings are complicated. Very complicated. There's infinite different feelings. Like, oh, am I frustrated or am I annoyed? Am I joyous or am I happy? Yeah. Feelings, complicated. Or are they? Feelings are not complicated whatsoever. There is only one feeling, and it is emotion. Emotion is energy, E, in motion. Emotion. Feelings, like different feelings, are energy in motion, or emotion, plus stories. So, for example, jealousy is energy in motion with the story, my boyfriend thinks she's better than me. Or anger is energy in motion plus the story, my boss is a fucking idiot. With this in mind, there's only one feeling, one emotion, and it's energy. Anything that makes you emotional, that creates that energy, is what you are creating. If you look at something and you have no emotional reaction towards it, it's not going to happen again. You're not going to see the same thing, right? This is also essential to understand because there is no, like, you don't have to feel through all these different feelings. You don't have to, like, work through your anger and then work through your sadness and then work through your grief and then work through your depression and then work through your whatever. That's overcomplicating it. All you have to do is allow any energy, just energy, to flow. It may take you some time, but you're not separating that energy into different categories, right? So trauma tends to create a lot of energy, stuck energy in people's bodies. And it's difficult for them to move through it because of the stories they associate with it. However, if you don't associate any stories with that energy, you're really just letting it move. It's just sensations in your body. Is it comfortable? Not necessarily, but you don't have to cry about it because you're not telling yourself the story. You don't have to get angry about it because you're not telling yourself the story. Is this making sense? Is this clear? This is very useful because next time something triggers you and something comes up, all you have to know is that don't tell yourself the story, just feel the energy. No stories, just feel how it makes you feel, right? With that in mind, it becomes a lot easier to move through your triggers. Yeah. How do you eliminate the story? You just acknowledge that you made it up. How do you eliminate the story? Just be like, oh, I'm just telling myself that. I'm just telling myself that. It's just a story I'm telling. Yeah. No stories, just energy. Everything you're creating is what you have emotional energy attached to, even if you don't think it is. If you've been living in the same apartment for so long and you're just saving up to move into a new apartment, that's not happening. That's not what's really going on. Let's be honest with ourselves. You're emotionally attached to the apartment you're living in. You are emotionally attached to the apartment you're living in. If it were time for you to move to a different apartment, you'd have the money for it already. Or someone would give it to you. Or something would happen and you would effortlessly be able to move into a new place. You're just emotionally attached to the place you're living in. Yeah. It's crazy. It's super fun. How would you go about changing your appearance? Hopefully you're not wanting to change your skin color because I can't see your picture, but I'm sure you're beautiful the way you are. The doorway into. The reason you look the way you do is because you are emotionally attached to the way you look. People who struggle to lose weight, who just cannot keep the weight off or whatever, are emotionally attached to that experience. Yeah. the stories that you tell yourself are, I look this way because my diet's wrong. I look this way because I don't exercise enough. I look this way because I'm a fat, lazy slob. I look this way because my genes are just bad. Those are all stories. If you get rid of the stories, what you're left with is emotional attachment to the way you look. Yeah. Do emotions just appear, or you can suddenly create them? You can create emotions. Think about a puppy playing with another puppy or a kitty. It probably makes you feel kind of nice. You just created that emotion right then and there. Yeah. But they don't come out of nowhere, really. My nose is like mad itchy. I don't know. I'm like, that's funny. Yeah. Yes. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? Yeah. Stop telling yourself the story and just allow the energy to move. This is why meditation is something that is like universally popular. Because meditation is time to feel your feelings. People sit down for meditation because they want downloads and stuff. Not only is that misalignment, but you're also kind of missing the whole point. You meditate to meditate. In meditation, feelings come up, whether you want them to or not. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it on YouTube. I'm supposed to put the last one on YouTube too. Yeah. Okay. My pleasure, TikTok ooks. Fisto Perkins. And by the way, if I missed anyone's question from earlier, I'm very sorry. There was just a lot of them. What if someone has cast a spell on you so you can't create any wealth? First of all, that didn't happen. I can relate though, because I used to believe I was financially cursed. I genuinely used to believe someone put a curse on me so I couldn't make any money. Nope, it was just my fault. It was all my responsibility, and I was intentionally not making money, but I didn't want to admit it. So the idea of believing that someone cast a spell on you to prevent you from making money is you just avoiding taking responsibility for your own creation. I know, it's very difficult to accept that money is as easy and simple as I'm describing it, but it's true. Maybe it takes you 3 years to accept it, because it took me 3 years to accept it. But if you're just open to it, you'll start to realize that it's actually true. Things will start to happen. Yeah. Rejection, exactly. Rejection is something people put a lot of emotional energy into, and then they tell themselves the stories. Oh, I didn't get picked because I'm, I don't know, overweight, or I didn't get picked because I'm too short, or I didn't get picked because that other girl is just better at fucking cooking than me. Whatever it is, whatever story you want to tell yourself, it's just a justification around the energy that you've put into rejection. You're creating your own rejection. There are people out there who get rejected, and then they're like, you know what? I'm not interested in this anymore. Getting rejected, I don't care. Whatever. And then they get picked. Then they get chosen, or they create a different experience that works out because they're not getting upset again and again and again and again and again. Same thing with money. When you spend your money on your bills, I'm like jazz hands over here. When you spend money on your bills and then your bank account's empty and you get upset about it, guess what's going to happen again next time you have bills? Guess what's going to happen again next time your bills come up? Try this instead. Next time you pay your bills and you're looking at that empty account, just be like, do I really want to get upset about this again? Nah, it's fine. Money will come back. It always does. And then next month, you're going to have extra money. You may only have $100 extra, but the month after that, you're going to have $500 extra. And the month after that, you're going to have $1,000 extra left over after you pay your bills. Guess what happened to me? That. I went from having no money left over to $100 left over to $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 plus left over after paying all my bills in 2.5, 3 months. Pretty cool. Yeah. I think because I'm attached to the idea of being chosen and picked by everyone. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, the doorway. Whew. Is appreciation the same as gratitude? No, it is not. Gratitude is almost always directed outwards. Gratitude is essentially saying, I'm so lucky to have all these things. Appreciation is always directed inward. And you're essentially saying, I'm responsible for all these things. Yeah. How did that happen for you? Did I get a new job? No, here's the thing, Christopher James. Your job doesn't make you money. It looks like it does. You appear to receive money from your job, but that's just a story you're telling yourself. Money flows. It's the same as your blood in your body, it just flows. You don't have to get a job for your heart to beat. You don't have to pay for a subscription for your blood to flow. It just flows. Money is the same way. Because you think that you need to have a job to make money is why when you don't have a job, you don't make money. For me, what happened was I essentially accepted that money was simple. That was step one. Then I started working with my intuition, and my intuition told me to write the book that I now have available. It's in my bio if you want to read it. When I wrote the book, I was working in alignment. I wrote the book just to write the book. I had no fucking idea what was going to happen. It's kind of funny because when I released the book, it was like crickets. Almost no one bought it. There was like 2 sales. And I had been promoting it. You know, I was like, hey, there's a book coming out. Hey. And I was like, fuck. But I didn't get upset. And because I didn't get upset about the book not selling, I was in alignment. I wasn't creating it not selling. I created a new experience to happen. And then and then because I was open to just whatever the fuck was going to happen and I was appreciating myself, suddenly it was just like money showing up out of nowhere. The book was selling, yes, but it wasn't the book that was creating the money, it was the expansion. This is kind of a difficult thing to get for a lot of people, so don't worry if it's like I don't get it. Like the book makes the money. It's okay. Yeah. The most important thing about all of this is you got to stop telling yourself that you have to do things to make money. That's not true. It's a limitation. You do things to do things. You sell books to sell books. You write books to write books. You get a job to get a job. You start a business to start a business. You make money to make money. You make money to make money and you don't have to do anything. Yay, Artman99, congratulations. Yeah, my pleasure. Is money having to flow not also a limitation? Well, I don't know if I understand your question. Money itself is a limitation. You created money to experience limitation. Money flowing... The thing about money flowing is it just happens. People cut themselves off from it when they don't appreciate themselves and they're acting out of alignment. Yeah, I don't think I understand your question. But money itself, yes, money is a limitation. You came here to play with money because money is a fucking great way to make you feel limited. It's one of the best games here in terms of limitation. Yeah. How long will you keep talking about it? Oh, what do you mean, money? Yeah, hold on. Okay. I turned down a job because they had a rule I didn't agree with, then they changed the rule for me. There you go, you created that. Champion Chimp. What happens to the energy of emotions when you're socializing and it always feels out of my control? What I'm getting from that question, Champion Chimp, is when you socialize, you are emotionally invested in the experience feeling out of your control. Therefore, because you're emotionally invested in it, that's what happens every time you socialize. So the way to change that is to realize that you can socialize and not feel like it's out of your control. And when that happens, when you're socializing and you don't have an emotional response to it, you'll be fine. It won't be the same experience as it always was because you are no longer investing your emotion into having that experience. Yeah. Okay. Fisto Perkins, what if you found out it was true and there were people out there to get you because of jealousy? Well, you would have created them too. If people are out to get you because they're jealous of you, you created that. you wanted people to do that to you for the sake of the experience. That's it. Radical responsibility means accepting that you create every experience you have. That's where your power is, though. You can't take responsibility for half of your life and then expect to create all of it. You have to take responsibility for all of your life if you want to create all of it. Yeah. You said saving money is hindering it from flowing. Is that a limiting belief? Yeah. Saving money to save money is okay, because that's an alignment. You save money to save money, whatever. If you save money to like not have to work, that's out of alignment. And then money is gonna like leave you. Things are gonna happen that you have to spend money on. Yeah. Saving money is essentially, or rather saving money for emergencies is essentially not trusting that you create infinite money flow. You may notice that every time you create an emergency savings, an emergency comes up and you have to spend it. And then you're like, oh, thank God I had my emergency savings. That fucking kills me. That makes me laugh every single time. Because it's like without fail. Oh, I have $500. Oh, look, my car needs new brakes. It's going to cost me $500 or whatever, however much that fucking costs. My car needs new brakes and a new battery. It cost me $500. Thank God I had my savings. People do that without realizing that they're creating the emergency so they can spend the emergency savings for the sake of the experience. Yeah. So when you save money, you're essentially saying, I don't trust that money flows in my experience and I can always access it whenever I need it. Yeah. Okay. I have the perfect amount of money in my savings for this emergency. It's funny. Okay. What's the difference between impulsivity versus intuition? Monroe Queens. Impulsivity versus intuition. Interesting question. I feel like when you ask that, you think impulsivity is a bad thing. So you're basically asking, what's the difference between this bad thing and this good thing? So fundamentally, your question is based in judgment and comparison, which are limitations. What if there is no difference between impulsivity and intuition? What if following your impulses is following your intuition, but you're judging impulsivity as bad? So now you're like, is it an impulse or is it my intuition? If you stop judging it and you just allow it to happen, it'll work out just fine. It is your intuition. Yeah. Saving money to buy a house. If it's time for you to get a house, if you've created yourself getting a new house, you'll have the money for the house. That's how it works. If you decide that you want to go on this vacation or you're creating this vacation, you're going to have the money for the vacation. Or someone's going to give it to you. You don't have to buy everything. This is why in phase 2, relationships are more important than money. Money is like, get that shit. It's like over there. Like in phase 1, everyone's worried about money. Everyone is like, money, money, money. How do I make more money? How do I make more money? How do I make more money? In phase 2, when you realize that money just like, you just shit money, then you stop caring about it so much and you focus on relationships. If you've ever talked to like a really wealthy person, not just like a, I don't know, $1 million or $2 million in the bank. If you talk to someone with real money, talking to them about money is like talking to them about the gum at the bottom of their shoe. They're like, what about it? What about it? Because money at that point is just this thing. It's like a background function. People have this fundamental misunderstanding about phase 2, like wealthy people. They're so focused on money. It's all about money for them. No, because they're not focused on money is why they have so much of it, right? Because it's not like they're not constricting the flow by trying to control it so much. They're worried about their not worried. They're focused on their relationships. Yeah. Whoo! Holy shit. I did it again. Every time I do a stream, or almost every time I do a stream, I'm like, I'm going to take a couple more questions. And then 45 minutes later, I'm like, I'm going to take a couple more questions. Okay, anyway, let me catch up on some questions here. Okay. Yes. I played in phase 2 in the past and then I got scared. Hey, Becky Conlow. Bonnie Bloom. Tim wants to know, how does appreciating yourself equate to bringing money to yourself? Self-appreciation is expansion. And the more you expand, the more you take your power back, the more responsibility you acknowledge that you have. When you have your power and your responsibility back and you continue to get more of it, you realize that you created money. Money has always come from inside you. You've always been responsible for your money experience. That's how self-appreciation creates money. Money just flows. It's literally the same as the blood in your body. You don't have to force your blood to flow. You don't have to work to make your blood flow. It's just flowing. It just flows. You don't have to figure out how to get it to flow, how to do it. So when you appreciate yourself and you let go of all the stories and the limitations and the expectations and the stories and the feelings around money, it just flows. Because you've expanded to that point. You're not limiting yourself and shrinking down. Woo! Okay. Okay. Do many financially literates not recommend having a savings or investing account? I don't know. I'm sure lots of people recommend that. Here's the thing. Don't make this mistake. Those are money games that you can play. I just want to let you know that saving money because you're worried that you'll need it comes from a fundamental belief that money doesn't just flow to you, that you could possibly run out of it. Once you understand that and you trust that money is always flowing to you, you can save and invest however you want. Some people love investing. They think it's super fun. It's like a little game, investing. Or, having life insurance is a little game, or saving is a little game. There's a big difference between playing the investing and the saving game versus saving and investing because you think money doesn't flow to you because there's a limited supply or whatever. Yeah. Hey, Keith Waldesign. Rebecca Allende. How do I create 2,000 new donors for a music foundation I'm helping without the funk? Ask your intuition. Intuition. Are you willing to help me create 20,000 new donors? Well, no, or 2,000, whatever number. Don't use a number. A number is a limitation. Maybe you create 5,000, but if you say 2,000, you're going to get 2,000, right? You say intuition. Are you willing to help me create donors for a music foundation, for my music foundation or whatever? Your intuition will say yes, or it'll say no if you're not supposed to be doing that. And if it says yes, you just move on. Maybe you ask, is there anything, what do I feel like doing to create the donors? Okay? Yeah. That's how you work with your intuition. It's much simpler. It's very difficult to accept in the beginning that things are just going to happen behind the scenes, but they do happen behind the scenes. Yeah. Okay. What is my favorite thing to spend money on? Coffee, food. It's the Taurus rising in me. I love spending money on food. That's why when I go out to eat, I tip 50% because it's just fuck it. I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah. Will reading Busting Loose from the Money Game help understand phase 2? Sort of, yeah. I've heard from people that my book is simpler to understand than Busting Loose. However, I would still recommend that you read Busting Loose just so you can get that different perspective. Yeah. Yay! Food, Taurus moon. Yes. I love that. That's funny. What is my take on Rotary? You mean the Rotary Club? Because if you're talking about the Rotary Club, I don't really have a take on it. I never joined one. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Imperfect Adventure. All right, I'm only going to answer a couple more questions here. Remember, for every $1 you spend, you get $5 back. That helped me a lot to detach from money fear. Yes, exactly, Ruru. The reason why that doesn't appear to happen for people in phase 1 is because they just don't believe it. They say it. They're standing at the checkout every dollar I spend comes back to me tenfold, but they don't believe it. They're too emotionally invested in not having that experience. Emotional investment. Yeah. Okay. Does motivation play a part in phase 2? Yeah, it kind of does. So in phase 2, what you do, like what action you take, is whatever you're motivated or inspired to do. That does not mean you force yourself to be motivated. There's a big difference. In phase 1, or generally, something people do is they motivate themselves to go to the gym, or they motivate themselves to work on whatever they're working on. That's not motivation. That's force. That's discipline. In phase 2, you don't have to force motivation. You feel motivated. That's how you know something's aligned with you, because you do it without having to force yourself. Like for me, I used to think I was just like a pathetic, inconsistent, pathetic, self-sabotaging person because I could never finish like a workout plan. Turns out I just fucking hated the workout plans. They weren't interesting to me, and so I had to force myself to do them. I know that because I just started a workout plan recently. It's not really a workout plan. It's like a movement plan. And I've consistently been able to do it for at least 2 weeks now. Easily. It's like every day I'm like, yeah, I get to do my thing. That's how it works in phase 2. If you're not supposed to be doing something, it becomes very difficult for you to do it. Yeah. Okay. If anyone wants my book, Layla Breaks, the book is available via the link in my bio. Also, I totally forgot to talk about this. I talked about it earlier. If anyone's interested in networking, but you hate business networking because it's so boring, or if you're interested in connecting with people, like really connecting with people and walking away from an event with new friends, you got to come to our quantum networking event on Friday this week. It's going to be so much fun. It's the second one we've ever done. The first one, people literally were like, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. And they made friends from the first meeting. So that's on Friday. Would love it if you could come. We're going to celebrate the end of the year. You're going to experience self-appreciation at the event. Yeah. Yay! Yay, Imperfect Adventure. It's on Zoom. So if anyone is worried, like, where? It's on Zoom. You can attend from anywhere in the world. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Johanna Ashton. Okay. Can you spend money on anything big or small? Yes. The money. When you enter phase 2 and you start working with money being something that just flows to you, you expand your sense of effortless experience. So what that means is at the beginning, an effortless experience for you might be spending like $50. Easy peasy. $50? Yeah, no problem. No problem. $500 might be a little more difficult. However, the more you expand, the more you appreciate yourself, the more you practice phase 2, you get to a point where $500 becomes the effortless experience, and then $1,000 is a little bit harder, or $3,000. But then you expand to that point also. So for me, over the course of like 2.5, 3 months, I went from like a $7 coffee being an effortless experience to $1,000 being an effortless experience. At the beginning, when I had the effortless experience being like coffee level, my fiance took me to buy something for him as a gift, and it was like an exercise for me, and the thing was like $1,400, and I was shitting bricks. Like, I had the money, but I was so scared. So it's just been really interesting for me to see how I've evolved in like 2 months from panicking over spending $1,400 to being like, yeah, whatever, here, take my card. $1,200, yeah, whatever. No problem. No problem. 2 months. It doesn't take a long time. Yeah. Woo! Yes, I do have a new book coming out. I listened to you the other day and I did this. I spent $60, I got $200 back the next day. I can imagine because you let go of that $60 like it didn't matter. And then it came back. That's awesome, Manifesting Monica. Good for you. Congratulations. It's so fun. Yeah, the problem comes up when you spend the money and you freak out like, oh, I shouldn't have spent it. I need that money back. Like, fuck, I wish I didn't have to spend this. Like, oh my God, this is so expensive. That's why your money's not coming back to you. Anyway. Oh, all right. It's time for me to go. Thank you. Yeah, if anyone wants to check out the book, definitely do that. It's great. All of that's linked in my bio. If I talked about anything on here and you're wondering, where is it? It's in my bio. Also, follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I put so much more content on Instagram. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Definitely go follow. The link is also in my bio to my Instagram account. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you. I'm excited to release our new book. Whoo, it's gonna be so good. It's like the book that I wish I had when I was trying to figure out money. Yeah. My pleasure. I can't wait to see some of you, if not all of you, at the networking event on Friday. Definitely come to that. Especially, even if you've never networked before, don't worry, we'll walk you through it. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you, everyone. So sorry if I missed your questions. I'll be live again tomorrow. So maybe I'll get you then. I'll see you later. My pleasure. Bye, everyone. Bye, friends.